I'm very glad to be here today with all of you. So I'm working at the Won Institute of Graduate Studies and teaching Won Buddhist Studies program and working as a Dharma Chaplain. So it's a very rare case. I'm here to talk about the Won Buddhist teaching, so I'm very glad to be here. So my gratitude here is that all of you have intention to cultivate your spiritual growth. And this present moment is the most important in our life because this is the moment that embracing our past and embracing our future too. So today's our practice is really great opportunity for us to grow, and it extends to your family, your neighbor, and to the world. So it's very wonderful. The topic I would like to share today is learning and mastering the Dharma of using the mind well. So usually we're using the word of mind study. So in Won Buddhist term, 마음 공부 in Korean, translated into mind study. The study means usually we apply to some subject you learning academically or intellectually, and also sometimes applying it, but it focusing on studies, kind of reading books or learning about new things. But Master Sotaesan is using the word 공부. So 공부 means really learning and practicing and mastering, so like become one with that teaching itself. So he used a lot of time using study, 공부. So I'd like to emphasize on this term as a learning and mastering to what you learn, the Dharma of using the mind well. That's the essence of our teaching. So usually in Buddhism, the approach to cultivate our wisdom involves hearing and contemplating and meditating with it and really practicing it. So your life and what you learn is not separated. So if we simply approach the study of the mind as we would on academic subject, there is a difference between theoretical knowledge and practical application in our daily lives. So it's very, very important how we practice our mind. So human nature is originally neither wholesome or unwholesome, but good or bad character comes into existence in accordance with one's habits. How we think, how we see, how we say, how we did, all those habits are formed as one's initial thoughts respond repeatedly to various causes and conditions around oneself. So good character coming from good habit, and bad character coming from bad habit. But very kind of small things, small way of thinking mind create that kind of wholesome or unwholesome direction, leading your life in that way. So to liberate ourselves from suffering and to gain freedom of mind, we need to learn and mastering a deep understanding of our mind and practice it in our daily lives. So we repeat this practice over time so that it becomes a part of ourselves. And the starting point, what is the starting point then? How we can really master this learning and mastering the mind, which is originally free from or distraction, delusion, or wrongdoings. So I say the starting point is to change our identity with our original mind, Buddha nature itself. So our mind ground, we recite the essential dharmas of daily practice. Understanding mind ground is very important. Mind ground is like a file of the mind, our original source of consciousness. Is limitless, boundless, clear awareness itself. So making it the original source of all things in the universe. We call that as a Iwansang. When our mind is clear, authentic, and open to the universal truth, our consciousness becomes one with this original source of our being, and which we call Iwansang, mind ground, Buddha nature or self-nature, Tao or truth, many different names, but pointing out the same truth. So that is why Master Sotaesanto, founder of Won Buddhism, said, the great practice involves initially inquiry into the principle of one's own self-nature and realizing the realm that is originally free from attachment, and then in everyday life, performing action that are free from attachment. That's the essence. So learning and knowing about your true self, true nature, and understanding there's no attachment. So while we're meditating, all kinds of sensation, thoughts arising and ceasing, comings and goings, but that knowing itself never change. It's not tainted by all those coming and goings. So free from attachment, like when you breathe in, we need to let it go. Breathe out. Very automatically, naturally we are doing it. But there's no trace of holding the breath forever. It's a coming and going. The consistent, this action of impermanent nature help us to growth. So understanding this, our true nature does not have any attachment. It's just being itself. So clearly aware the state of mind. So for this practice, I begin to change my identity to that of a Buddha nature. From now on, my practice to prove that I'm a Buddha. If I say I have a Buddha nature, so I'm a Buddha, then prove it. What makes you Buddha? What makes you awakened being? Then we need to prove it, right? Through our action, through our thoughts, through our in day-to-day life, how we handle all things in our life. We need to prove, if I say I'm a Buddha, then doing it, right? Like a living Buddha. But when you have that first identity of I'm not a Buddha, I try to attain a Buddhahood. And starting point is kind of different, like someone wants to quit the smoking and say, I'm a smoker, but I try to keep the smoking. Then the power of really quit smoking is a little like half and half opportunity they doing again, right? But start from that I'm non-smoker. Then the identity change, I'm not smoking, right? So when you trust ourselves, yes, I have the Buddha nature, originally free from all attachment, defilements, or wrongdoings. And trust it and feeding, enraging, and nourishing the mind. That's the key point of our practice. So a small example is when I become aware that I have a fear of driving. I have that first identity of I'm not a good driver. So whenever I'm driving, I have some hesitation, anxiety, and fear. So I'm trying to avoid difficult situation of driving. If it's possible, I ask some other people can drive better than me. Then there's a little chance to have more confidence in driving, right? Because I already have a limit myself to I'm not a good driver, I'm not a good driver. This identity will not change until I alter my mindset to the mind ground is originally free from the delusion that I have limited driving ability. Sometimes we attach ourselves to our own first identity, we attach and trust or believe in the limitation and fit in ourselves in that category. But it's not that much helpful. So what I'm doing is a small activity to reduce this fear of driving is to practice it on any occasion where I can do so without fear or excessive anxiety. So small things change. Small things make me more confident about driving. So this allows me to familiarize myself with it, practice over time, try new approaches, and empower myself gradually, freeing myself from the delusion of wrong perception. So prove it, I'm a Buddha, then little by little I extend my limitation to applying that, our true nature, Buddha mind. So I using driving story many times because it's kind of always following me. Whatever I do, I have to drive, but the less confidence is following me. So yesterday, while on I-476 in the afternoon, I encountered a serious traffic jam. Normally, the drive would take 30 minutes, but yesterday it stretched to 3 hours. 3 hours. I found myself repeatedly halted on the highway and redirected on the unfamiliar roads. I've never been there, but they guided me to somewhere else. So presenting quite a challenge. However, as time passed, my mind became singularly focused on the one thought: please, let us go home safely. That's one thing I focus, because previously, when I started driving, I didn't expect that much traffic. Maybe there was some accident and closed down the whole way. And so in the beginning, I thought, can I go to my next appointment by on time? And then text, I'll be late. And text, I give up to make that appointment. And then later on, just please go home safely. That's the very sincere prayer last time. And then extend to really appreciate that at least I came back home, even though it takes a long time. So what can you do in 3 hours in the stuck in the car? Not much I can do. But actually, when we think about our life, we have some condition, something sometimes we cannot change much. Sometimes we can change, but other things is very difficult. But what we can do, the choice is up to you, how we can use that kind of opportunity as a practice or not. So every day I incorporate mindfulness into my routine, even when parking my car, more mindfully. So do not, so put the car in the right space. And commuting to work also serves as an excellent opportunity to practice mindfulness every day. It increases my confidence little by little. Over time, I aim to cultivate oneness, gratitude, and freedom from false identities until I'm in touch with my true Buddha nature, and there is originally no limitation. Originally, I have a Buddha nature in me. So applying that mindset in each and every situation, something you are not confident about it. So Master Sotaesan's teachings may seem simple, sometimes too simple, and commonplace at first glance, leading us to overlook their deeper meanings. But however, through careful reading, mindful listening, contemplating, and really practicing it, then we can profoundly understand ourselves, the nature of our mind, our true nature, and align with the truth of One, the awakened mind of the Buddha. So more deeply, closely look at it. Then we have ability to discerning. This is the deluded mind. This is wrong perception. This is the based on manifestation from my clear Buddha nature. So we can see more clearly over time. So long time of practice attaining the power of the Buddhahood. It takes time. Just knowing it is not enough, but prove it. That's the matter. How much we gain the power of Buddha nature in our day-to-day daily life. So here's a summary of our daily mind practice we just read today. The founding masters, Discourse of Master Sotaesan, chapter 3, verse 9. If a practitioner in doing any one thing does not become distracted by something else, that is in effect the practice of one pointness of mind. So while you are involved in some working, can we really focus on one thing at a time? Doesn't mean you cannot do multitask at a time. If it's all your responsibility, you need to take care of that. For example, like a mom taking care of baby in the car and then doing something, driving, right? At the same time, have to do multitask sometimes. If it's part of your responsibility at the time, then taking care of those things, do our best mindfully. But sometimes we're creating unnecessary distraction when we do something. For example, walking outside. But still think about something else, or busy to make a phone call or something else. If it's really necessary, we do it, but if it's not necessary, then don't do it. Right? While driving, listen to music, listen to radio, news. If it's really necessary, doing it, but if it's not, then focusing on just driving itself, that's the opportunity to cultivating your one pointness mind. So many occasions when you are involved in some work, do your best creating one pointness mind. Talking and listening also. We are talking while we are listening to others' words. We think about my response already. So distracting, mindful listening. So all those process is opportunity to cultivating one pointness mind. Next one, if in doing one thing, the practitioner seeks knowledge of that particular matter in its proper order, and in doing another does the same, that is in fact the practice of inquiry. So I have kind of prepared breakfast, not every day, but twice a week I'm doing it for our community. Then what I'm doing, there's something I need to do first, something I do last, right? So if I have proper order to cook all those things, then I can make it very efficiently and the good product came out. But I kind of hesitate to doing this and that and distracting too many things, then I cannot do my job well, right? So knowledge is kind of increasing when we really do with sound thoughts, finding proper what is a priority, what is the next thing to do. So while we cultivating wisdom, also we are cultivating one pointness mind and right action too. So all things kind of coming together. That's why it's threefold study coming together. And if one is free from wrong when handling this or that matter, that is in fact the practice of choice. Means something you have some precepts to yourself. I make my mind to keep that precepts. But there's a chance to excuse ourselves, not today, maybe tomorrow I'll keep it. That make us to like a little less to progress forward, like a backward, right? So each and every moment, if you keep your mind, have intention to keep these precepts or this schedule or this promise I make, and I really doing it, then do not excuse yourself as much as you can and do your best to do right thing to do in each and every moment. That's the way to cultivating power of choice in action in each and every moment. So when you are involved in the work, there's a way to cultivating this threefold study. And if one's free time, one focuses on one pointness mind by reciting the Buddha's name, chanting or meditation, reading scripture, talk with your Dharma friends, all those things help you to cultivate your wisdom or one pointness mind while you have some free time. So consistent practice while you are involved in work or not, day and night. Consistently reflect on your true nature and using the mind well in each and every moment is the way to cultivating your mind and is the way to attaining Buddhahood in your life. That's why this practice is very important and help us to create your true identity as a Buddha and approve it in each and every moment. Like in the beginning, like a little baby, have all same human body, but do not have much power to live by themselves, right? Need someone's care until they grow, have their own power. So, beginning practitioner is like a little baby Buddha. Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby Buddha needs time to grow up, right? So one of students say that there's a lot of mind coming and goings, and we say, plant the wholesome seed in your mind. And the student said, but if there's a seed already planted before I didn't aware, the unwholesome seed like anger, resentment is there, and I see it, if I just cover up, pretending not there, and how we can practice. So, yeah. So the student said, is it better to, if you're angry, finding out like healthy way to processing the anger? So maybe you can meet with someone you trust, let out your anger, but the person understand, right? Is it better than just hiding or not really express your anger? Anger is a healthy thing too. Yes, that's true. So I said, wow, then seed already there, then we cannot do anything about it, but what we can do is to not feeding it. Right? You see the anger is in here. Okay, I watch it. It's there. Recognize it. But need to processing it, finding healthy way to do. But do not feeding more. Like it's fire already, then put more gas on it, and it's really burning everything, right? So we can do feeding wholesome seed or unwholesome seed. It's up to us in each and every moment. And so the moment you can feeding your true nature, Buddha mind, nurturing it, using it more and more, so have more power. That's our practice. So Master Sutedhan said, in the beginning, practitioners say, attaining Buddhahood is very, very difficult compared to like a physical labor. But Master Sutedhan said, if you know how to do it later, then it's really, really easy. You can find it. So finding the right way to practicing it is really, really important. So learning and mastering and practicing it, applying the Buddha mind in our day-to-day life is the essence of our practice. Thank you, everyone.